private sector. The photograph is a photograph taken of what was called Gardner Island in those days, Nikomaroro today, taken in 1937, just 3 months after Earhart disappeared. And it's of the western shoreline, and there's something sticking up out of the water on the edge of the reef that the forensic imaging specialists tell us is consistent with the wreckage of the landing gear of a Lockheed Electra. And that's a really important clue for us.
So, Rick, I guess I don't understand why we wouldn't have already known about this. I thought a lot had been dedicated to trying to track her down, not just after the incident, but in the 75 years since, no?
Well, I can tell you that in the 24 years since, our organization, Tiger, and we're a nonprofit aviation historical foundation, has been researching this. We've made 10 expeditions to those islands. We've found a ton of evidence that this is the right place where her flight ended, but we've never had anything conclusive. And this photograph isn't conclusive yet. It's the next big clue that we've found. The difference here is that it got the attention of the U.S. State Department, and we got a very dramatic stage to announce this new piece of evidence, this new clue in the Earhart puzzle. But, you know, investigation is a process, not an event. And we have built this case. The dots have connected over the years. And this is just the latest piece of evidence that points to the same conclusion the other evidence has been pointing to for a while.
So a lot of people say it's like a needle in a haystack to just try to find that Lockheed Martin. What's it called? What was the plane called that she had?
Lockheed Electra.
Lockheed Electra.
And, Lockheed Martin is one of our sponsors.
Oh, well, how about that? They say it's going to be really, really tricky to find just that. Do you think there's, if you do, and God with you, if you do find that, do you think there's any hope of actually finding maybe, skeletal remains?
Well, it turns out that the skeletal remains of Amelia Earhart probably were found in 1940 on this same island.
How so?
Evidence, well, and this was a rumor that nobody believed for years, but now we know for sure, and we've known since 1997 when we found the original British paperwork, that in 1940, 3 years after Earhart disappeared, the bones of a female castaway were found on this island at like a castaway's campsite. And they thought it might be Amelia Earhart at the time, but the bones were sent to Fiji, where the British headquarters were, identified by a British doctor as being male. And based on that, the British didn't say anything to American authorities, and the whole thing, they closed the file, and it was sort of forgotten. But the rumor persisted. We found all the paperwork in an obscure archive in 1997, and we found the measurements the doctor took upon which he made his conclusion that the bones were male. We gave them to modern forensic anthropologists. What comes out of the computer today is white female, Northern European descent, stood about Earhart's height. Well, there's nobody else missing like that out there. So we've been quite convinced ourselves for a long time that we've got the right place. We've found a place on the island that fits the description of where the bones were found. We've done archaeological investigations out there 3 times now, and we're finding artifacts that speak of an American woman of the 1930s. Nothing with Amelia's name on it, but everything is pointing to this being the place. And now this photograph shows us where the airplane might be in the deep water off the